Hearts of Iron 4. Is it worth a buy? Let's read the words of the developer. Victory is at your fingertips. Your ability to lead your nation is your supreme weapon. The strategy game Hearts of Iron 4 lets you take command of any nation in World War II, the most engaging conflict in world history. From the heart of the battlefield to your command centre, you will guide your nation to glory and wage war, negotiate or invade. You hold the power to tip the very balance of World War II. It's time to show your ability as the greatest military leader in the world. Will you relive or change history? Will you change the fate of the world by achieving victory at all costs? Yes, I would. I would. So what is Hearts of Iron 4? Well, it is a deep strategy game, a World War II strategy game. It is deeper than old Meg's pussy. That's how deep. Mac, that was just... It's unbelievable, guys. It is just so deep. It is the most complicated game I have ever played. It makes Stellaris look like fucking tiddlywinks. It is so freaking complicated, guys, that this week all I've done is watch endless YouTube tutorial videos made by men with goatee beards, ponytails, round glasses, wearing Marvel t-shirts. But these people, I thank you, because you have shown me how to play this game, because obviously the developers are far too busy with making games than, making stuff like manuals. Gone are the days when you would get a manual like War and Peace with your strategy game, where you could just sit down when you're constipated and just read through it. I used to love that. I used to love manuals. I loved them. They were microprose. Every Decision in the Desert was a great World War II strategy game, and you got a big manual and you read it and you understood Apache Hind, gunship, huge manual, read it, did it, great. But not now. Now it's like, there's the game. Hey, it cost you £40. Good luck learning how to play it. But thank you for wikis and tutorials and men with ponytails, because I now have a little bit of an idea of what I'm doing. Not a massive idea, but a little bit of an idea. Enough to enjoy the game and play the game. And I have to say up front, guys, this is the best war game I've ever played in my life. It is fucking amazing. Absolutely amazing. So let's start from the beginning. Here's the graphic options. Pretty limited, but the game is limited graphically anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Although I have heard it can chug along in late game when there's all hell breaking loose across the world, but I haven't got that far yet because I've had to keep restarting the game because I didn't know what the actual I was doing. So how do I play? Well, it's multiplayer, co-op and single player. I'm only playing single player at the minute. You select the nation you want to be at the beginning of the game. You have everybody. You have the croissant shaggers, you have the burger munchers, you have the dog eaters, you have... you name it. All the big guys is here. The Russians, you have the tractor shaggers. Everybody's here. Hitler's here. He's there just waiting to take over everything. And obviously you've got the Italian turncoats who will join whoever's winning. So we have it all there. It's all just ready to be just exploded onto the world. Now here's the thing. This is the amazing thing. You can choose to have this play out historically. So, you'd get Germany saying, no, we will not. And Chamberlain going, they will not. Look, I have a piece of paper that says they will not. And then Hitler says, right, f*** it, will we kill the bastards, attack Poland? Or you can just tick that off, and then it's like, ooh, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? And it's great because you could be a bastard. We could take over the world. We could invade France instead of bailing them out again. We could finally get that 100 years war finished with France. When Germany inevitably goes round the Maginot Line and through Belgium, we could strike. We could say, hey, Adolf, mate, do you fancy it? Do ya? Me and you against the fucking world, mate! See, guys, this is what I like about the game. You can, and I will, and I shall, and I almost have. Spain, for example, the Spanish Civil War started. It started in, I think, 1937. The first thing I did was send 4 fucking divisions over to Gibraltar. Just waiting. Just sitting there. Alright, lads? So you fight among yourselves. So you like throwing donkeys off tall buildings, do you? You like butchering fucking bulls, do you? But enough of my conquest dreams. How do you play the game? Well, This is it, guys. It's all done in real time, but thankfully you can pause the game and you can speed it up or slow it down to whatever you want. That's essential, by the way. To give you an idea, I mean, Britain had the powerfulest navy in the world at that time in 1936, which is when I've started my game, and it took me an hour to split my navy up, give them admirals, put them under different admirals, give them their orders, show them where about I want them to patrol. Like I've got submarines out hunting enemy convoys. I have battleships out protecting my convoys. I have search and destroy missions. I have all kinds of patrols going on all over the Mediterranean, the North Sea, everywhere around the world. I have my whole country blockaded by my navy. I am recruiting more naval ships, putting them under these admirals that I've assigned, and each admiral has different traits. It took me an hour just to set up my navy. It took me another 25 minutes to start setting up my army in. I've got the Suez Canal protected in Africa. I've got air forces over there as well. I've got the Home Guard going on. I've already told you about I have stuff in Gibraltar. And I've got to train all these. I have to build the right equipment for these. I have to get the rifles out of them, the bullets out of them. I have to even set up my own divisions. What do I want in the divisions? Do you want heavy machine guns? Do you want artillery? What do you want? You'll need a lot of supplies. Are you having light tanks? Well, we need to have light tanks. So we need factories. So you've got to build factories. It's not like a RTS game in the sense of just build a weapons factory. You know, there's a tank comes out. That's way more depth than that. You have basically a commitment with your own factories. You have civilian factories, for example, that have to produce certain amount of goods just to keep your country running, and then the ones after that can be used to construct stuff like home defences, radar outposts, military factories. Everything that gets constructed by your industry. Then you can leave your industry alone and get onto your military. Your military factories have to be assigned. You might want to make a lot of supplies. So how many factories are you going to plough into making supplies? 5, 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 factories? Are your factories protected by anti-aircraft? Are your factories protected by radar? You know, how spread out are your factories? Which states have you, which provinces of your country? Because your country's all broken down. You know, you've got like East Midlands, West Midlands, you've got Lothian, you've got Sussex, you've got the whole of your country and the whole world is broken down into little provinces that you can build things in, your factories in there and things like that. You have to assign the factories to produce the certain goods, and all of this costs money, and you've got to look at how you're getting money. Are you trading? Who are you trading with? What surplus stuff are you making that you can export? The computer handles all that anyway, the export, so that's nice, but you have to handle the import. You might want to build a lot of tanks but don't have the oil, but America has shitloads of oil, so you import oil from America, but that has to cross the Atlantic Ocean. They might get sunk, so you assign convoys to protect that area. It is incredibly deep, guys, and it goes deeper than this. This is just the edge of it. This is just move one kind of thing. This is just kind of the very, very beginnings of it, because then you've got to look at your national focus. What are your country's goals? What are you going to do? There's a whole plethora of options of which direction you're going to take your country in when you're researching things. And there's research on top of the research on top of the research. Each wing of your defences, the Air Force, the Navy and the Army, has a whole set of strategy, research and things that you can go down. Then you've got every single kind of gun and tank and ship and submarine, and there are loads of them, loads more than I even dreamed of, that you have to go and research down and drill down and then research and then assign to an admiral or a general or a sub commander of that, and put them whereabouts in the world do you want them to deploy. Do you have the oil to send them there? You want to do a landing in France? Have you got landing craft? No, you don't. So you have to go and build the landing craft and assign the landing craft. Which harbour are they going to come out of? Have you got enough room in that harbour? You know, it's massively head scratching, this game, and it took me 3 days just to learn the basics, guys. You must listen to me when I tell you this. 3 days to learn the basics. I am nowhere near good enough to probably win the war with this game. I'm tinkering with it at the minute, but I'm getting on in life. I can't absorb as well as I could. I could digest this when I was in my 20s or my teens easily. I could just, suck this dry, this game. I'd just absorb everything first time and just play it. When you get on in life and you're watching a tutorial, it's like you sit there and it goes something like this. You're listening to him and he's saying, Then you get your general and you have to look at his sub-orders of what he can do, and you have to assign the different divisions to that. And you're like, oh yeah, okay. You press this button here, and what you can see is, if you look down at all that text, these are the tooltips that tell you what that man can do and what he will be able to offer for this particular division. You can see the modifier is plus 20% for digging in. And I'm like, oh yeah, yeah. Then all of a sudden, it's like, wow, breasts. Ah, breasts. Pokey nipples. And you think, hang on, what did you just say there, mate? Breasts got into me head. And you just lose it. You just can't, what the, rewind. And you're listening to him again, and the division commander will give a bonus modifier to this particular group because of, you can see he's on the mountain range, and the mountain range modifier for this particular boobs. Oh, breasts in your face, wobble, wobble, wibble, wibble. And it just, you can't take it in. And so you rewind it again. And that's why at my age it takes so long to learn these games, because of breasts, basically. But when you get up to a point where I am, where I know enough to play the game, oh, it's great. It's just great just sitting back. You feel like a fucking megalomaniac. You're just sitting back and you're just seeing all your men coming out of the factories, getting armed up, and you see the pitiful French at the other side of the channel. They do not know what's coming. And it's just great. Now, how does the fighting go? Well, the fight, I'm showing you an advanced scenario because I don't want to spoil what I've done. I've played my game properly. I'll show you this as a bit of an advanced scenario from the beginning of the war. There's about to be a fight between Germany and France here. Now, the way this works is awesome, because what you do, you first set up a front line for your troops. And it's so easy to do. You just select the troops and then click on front line, and then just drag your mouse around where you want that front line. And that front line will be assigned to that general and everybody that's under that general. They will know that that is their front line. Okay, done. Done deal. Right, select the front line again for another group, another general and his troops, and then that's where their front line is. So that's great for them as well. Now, here's the thing. You then set battle orders. And this is cool, because you just give them an objective. Right, your objective is that. And when you execute that command, that general will do everything in his power with the resources you've given to take that objective. You don't have to do anything else. You can micromanage each individual unit, which apparently in multiplayer you should do, because the AI battle plans are not very good against the human, but they're very good against other AI because it's all balanced. So it's really good. You just give all the orders and then hit execute. You move it done, you know, and then that's it. You just watch it go on. Now you can change what's going on. You can set them retreat lines. You can really modify these battles. You can reinforce. You can flank. You can drop paratroopers behind the lines. You can do everything at your disposal to win that battle. Preparation time, for example. If your objective's at the other side of a river or a mountain range, they may need a bit of preparation time, so you give them their orders but don't execute the orders for a while. Leave them a few days and they will prepare, and you'll see a little bar moving up saying how much they're prepared for what they have to do. And then when you feel that there's enough preparation done, you then execute the order and they go and do it. You don't say much, you just hear it all, and you'll see a few men just kind of standing there going through the motions of shooting. But it doesn't matter. You don't need to see like total war. You just know what's going on, and you just see your men advancing further into the enemy territory or losing, whatever. And it's just amazing. And to win a whole war would be something else, but you're going to have to plough probably about 50 to 100 hours in to get that far. And obviously I can't afford to do that. I've already spent the whole week on this game just learning it, and I can't spend any more time, which is why I'm having to review it now at this stage. But let me just finish on this. If you're a World War II strategy game fan like what I am, you're going to love this. There isn't a better one out there that I've played. It's absolutely fantastic, well worth the money. But please listen, guys, if you are not into deep games like this, give it a miss, because it will frustrate you and you'll feel like you've wasted your money. So there you go, guys. That's Hearts of Iron 4, a great strategy game, well worth a buy if you are into this genre.